Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be starting a series. The series was meant to be start with a different book, but that is a funny story for later. Right now I am just going to kind of show you. Basically, I bought these books about a month or so ago, the Cranford Collections, and I just love the covers so much. They were originally £20, but the place that we bought them from, they're a wholesale place, so you get 70% off, so it's really cheap. So what I am essentially going to do is I'm going to gut this book. Okay, so yes, I'm going to gut the book, and I'll just take you along with the process. You can either, if you have one of these books and you would like to craft along with me, you can obviously do that. If you have a hardcover book, sometimes they're just plain because they have a sleeve over them, don't they? So if you have a hardcover book that's plain, you're more than welcome to use that. It really doesn't have to be one of these books, but this is what I'm going to be using for now. So I shall start by gutting this book, and to do that you just need your craft knife and said book. Now what you want to do is just cut, I'm in focus and in camera, in shot, you want to cut, you can see that there's a gap between this spine piece here and where the paper, this cover piece, joins onto the cover, and there's a little gap just in there. So you want to get your craft knife here and you want to cut down this piece, but you want to be really careful that your blade, because I've just changed my blade, does not cut your actual spine. There are ways to fix that if you do, but for this project I'm hoping that I'm not going to do that. I just want to take this piece out of the book cover. So let's cut. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do this in real time on camera with you and not have to go off or kind of do it sped up and then a voiceover. Yeah, I'll be alright. So yeah, funny story. I was meant to do this with another book that I purchased, and it was Wuthering Heights, and I had the book ready, and I also created a digital download that I would use inside of the book, and obviously that digital download would then be available for you guys to go and purchase and use yourself. You could either use it in a project similar to what I'm doing now, or you could just use it in general. It really didn't matter. I was really happy with what I'd made. And do you know what I'd made? I had made a Jane Austen download. Let everybody just like remember what we're doing here. Yeah, Jane Austen. Why did I do that? The only excuse that I have is that, as many of you know, I have had some health issues, and I was going through some procedures and I was very stressed. I was very worried, and like the family was worried, and I was all over the place. I was very discombobulated, and for some reason I had convinced myself that the set of books that I had bought were Jane Austen books, even though the front clearly said Wuthering Heights. I can't honestly, and I made two, not one, two downloads for it. So now those downloads are useless, and I have to make another one to go with this, which isn't a problem. I enjoy making the downloads, but when I spent so long and so hard on those other ones, it really does annoy me. I don't know what got into me. I really don't, but I done everything. I cut it, I printed it, I cut it, all the ephemera, I trimmed off all the page edges. I'd done absolutely everything in preparation for this video, and now it's all down the drain. I mean, little silly. I mean, I am going to release the actual downloads to you guys. You can still go and download them and you can use them as you wish, and I hope that you enjoy. I spent a lot of time on them. I'm very proud of them, but they are of absolutely no use to me because these are not Jane Austen books. So we now have cut our book out. So we've completely gutted the book. We have our pages all separated. I'm just going to pop that to the side and just show you how your cover should now look. So it should be nice and flimsy. So you've cut down this edge here. You have not cut into the cover, which I have done multiple times before, and you now have a completely empty book. And this is what I'm going to use as my journal. Now if you have a similar book or a hardback book that has a pattern on it, and you're not going to cover it, you don't need to do anything with this. You can just put it to the side and wait until you've finished all your bits and pieces. However, if you have a plain book that you're using and you would like to decorate it up, you can do that now, you can do it later. It's totally up to you. Again, with the decoration, it is totally up to you what you want to use to decorate them. But obviously, for obvious reasons, I am going to leave this one. I'm not going to decorate it. It's beautiful as it is, so we'll leave that. Then bring back in our big pile of book pages. So obviously there are going to be some obvious pages that I want to keep. So I would want to keep these little cover sheets because they're very, very thick. They're very good quality. And I also want to keep anything that's got a photo on it, or a picture, sorry, illustration of any sort. And I'm going to use these somehow throughout the journal. So we'll be keeping the first few pages. That's beautiful, isn't it? I wish that was throughout the book, not just on the first. I don't know, it's on the first page and then never seen again. But yeah, we will definitely make use of these. So I'm just going to you can see the light is coming through. I don't know if you guys can see, the light is coming through here, so it just means that there is a little bit of room for me to cut and remove. So I'm just going to get my hopefully still sharp knife and just run it down that page edge, and there we go. Just to try and, because I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with them. I know I am going to use them, but I'm not entirely sure how. So I want to keep them as neat as possible. Obviously, if you know how you're going to use them and it doesn't matter, you can rip them out and just have at it. I'm hoping now that I've taken that cover piece off, and if I take this off as well, it may well make it a bit easier for me to rip the pages out rather than sitting and cutting them, because that will just take forever. I don't actually have a bin. I changed the bin and didn't put a bin bag in, so they've just got to sit there for now. There we go. So that's a little bit easier. So I'm getting a nice clean rip along there. I'm just popping these to the side because I know that I would like to keep them and use them. Lovely. Oh, also, I don't know why. I have no idea why. I'm sure later on in this process it will become abundantly clear, but I'm going to go through, and anywhere where there's little paragraphs that are like this that are kind of separated, I'm going to keep those pages with the ones that have illustrations on, so they're all going to be separated. And again, I have no idea why, but I want to keep these little chapter breaks. I'm going to kind of rip them into a strip. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet, but I would like to keep them. So I'm going to very quickly just go through and rip out the pages that I want to keep and put them neatly to the side, and then all of the others I will just have in a pile ready to be made into ephemera, tags, whatever. So I'll probably speed this part up. Right, so I've just flicked through the book, and there are no more quoted pieces that I'd mentioned. There's no more of them, so I'm not going to sit here and waste my time and flick through each and every page. And I think I may well have enough of these little chapter breaks, because I don't know what I want to do with them. I don't want to keep too many, but to be honest, I'm technically still keeping them because I'm not throwing this away. This is just going to go to the side. This pile here is just of everything that I want to keep for a particular reason. So I know I also want that back piece there, don't I? Let's just take that and that, whip that off, so I'm getting the whole spine with it as well. So we'll keep those. Is there anything? Oh, we've got nice blank pages here. How many blanks are there? Jeez Louise. Okay, we'll keep those. Keep those too, and yeah, that will be it. So we have our keep him for a purpose pile, which is just to the side of me there. Then we have the rest of the book, and I am going to try my damned hardest to use as many of these as possible. I really don't want them to go to waste. Even if I don't use them in this book, they will just go into my book page box thing, so they will get used. They're not going to be wasted. I just want to try and use them as much as possible within this journal itself. So that is the book gutted, pages chosen and put to the side. So I'm just going to organise myself and get rid of that rubbish because I cannot stand it. I'm going to have to go and put a bin bag in. Okay, bin bag has been successfully changed. Refreshments have been had. I'm now ready to get on. Right, so what am I going to do next? Oh, I was going to show you what I was going to do was I was going to flip through the digital download at this point and show you what you would get if you downloaded it. But I'm stupid, so I don't have one to show you. I will work on it and I will get it up separately and I will do the little flip through. But at this point in time, I'm not ready to use it, so that's the only saving grace. So let's just bring in our huge chunk of book pages, and we're going to just try making, well, not try, I know what I'm going to make. We're going to make bits and pieces. A lot of these techniques that I'm doing, I have already shown you on my YouTube channel. I've got a tutorial or a little how to use book pages. I'll link it below so that if anyone hasn't seen it yet, they can get the full tutorial, because I'm not going to do a full one today. The mood I'm in is obviously just not going to work out very well, is it? So I'm just going to very, very quickly make some pockets. I do have an idea as to changing them up a little bit and kind of making them a little bit different from the standard design that I have obviously previously shown you, and that is just simply by using some patterned scissors. Once I've tucked this in, I will go and get them and show you what I'm talking about. Just fold that in. I probably made that too big, that little fold, but hey ho. And these are the scissors that I'm talking about. So these are randomly filled with paper. These are interchangeable, so you can obviously, the handles pull off and you can choose your patterns. So you've got standard zigzag, standard wavy line, and then a mixture of the two in that purple one. So literally, just to kind of make this pocket a little bit different, just kind of like stand out a little bit, I'm just going to cut along the top edge after I've got all my folds in place, that is, and just cut off this little white piece here basically with said stickers. Like so. So now we have a nice serrated edge, I suppose. And then I'm just going to glue the pieces on the back just to stop them from popping open, because these are going to be popped into a little bag ready for when I come to decorate the journal and actually use them. So I don't want them getting all unfolded and squashed and all sorts inside the bag. So if I just make sure that they're all glued down and ready to go, then we don't have any issues. I'm just going to make one of each of these pockets on camera with you guys, and then I will go off and make maybe 2 or 3 extra more, and I will also ink around the edges as well. Then I will just leave them like that. If I want to decorate them at a later stage, I will do, but for now I'm happy with how they are. So that's our first little pocket. We can attach that by either folding it over a page edge like so, just popping it with a paper clip, or into a pocket itself so it can actually come away from the journal and be used elsewhere, or as a little memento keeper. But they're decent sized pockets actually, so yeah, that's that one. Then the next one, I'll just rip that off. Okay, so onto the next little pocket. This is one of my favourites. I love making this one, but even though I make it quite often, I do always forget how to make it, and I have to sometimes really remind myself and actually watch my own video back a few times before I actually remember what I'm doing. Madness. So I'm just going to fold in my corners. Like I say, there is a more in-depth video that shows you how to make all of these little projects, and I actually do a full-on tutorial, so if you do want to make them and I'm going too fast, I will link the video below, and then that should be at a better pace. Okay, so just going to meet these corners here like so. I do like to try and get my folds as flat as possible, otherwise the pockets just flip out here, there and everywhere, so I do like to get them as flat as possible. I'll just quickly lay that down, then flip up and fold in, and then that will hide that bad piece of tearing now. Flatten that down so it's, and then flip it over, and bada bing bada boom, you've got yourself a pocket. Now what you can do is you can glue these into place. I prefer to use a bit of washi tape along the bottom, just so that then it, because you know how glue seeps, so if I put glue at the bottom here and then it spreads, you're losing pocket space, aren't you? So what I like to do is I just like to do some washi tape on the outside, so that then you can still fully open that pocket. Obviously not that wide, but you catch my drift. But I'm not going to do that just yet, because I'm not sure what type of washi tape I want to use, or if I'm going to buy some specially, so I will just leave that like that. I also do want to ink them, and it's going to be a lot easier for me to ink if I can unfold them, so I don't really want to adhere them into place just yet. So that is the next one. So we have 2 lovely little pockets. Now, using my very, very good memory, I'm going to make another one, and I'm not 100% sure on what one it is, so we're just going to go with the flow. I think if we start by folding in half like so, and then I'm just going to, do I want to cut it, or do I actually, let me refold that so it's right up to the edge, because I was going to just cut it off and have a straight edge, but I've changed my mind and I'm going to have a random edge like this. So I'll just rebuild my scissors like so, and then I'll just cut down that edge piece there. If I do it that way, I know I'm definitely cutting off the ripped area, aren't I? With these scissors, they are really cool, but you do have to be careful not to put in too much paper because they don't do well. See, I've ruined it. Let me see if I can rescue by coming in a bit more. They can usually handle 2 sheets of book page. Look at that. Oh no. Oh. Useless. I'm not going to use them ones again. They're annoying. So another piece of paper, and I'm just going to cut this piece off. It's just obviously going to be the easiest option for me, like so. Then I will fold it in half like this, reinforcing that fold. Then we want to make this piece here into a pocket, so you can either bring it right up and you can have 2 pockets at the top. You can use washi tape to adhere the side pieces down, or you could just fold it up a tiny piece so then you have like a bigger pocket. So what am I going to do? I think I'm going to chop off that piece there where I've ripped the book, like so. And I think I'm going to take it to about there and then fold, like so. Then you can leave it like this, like I say, and then just put your washi tape to the sides, and then you have your pocket here and your pocket at the top. Technically you'd have 3 pockets because you'd have this piece here, this piece, and then this piece. What am I going to do? Am I going to fold it down like so? I think I'm going to fold it once here just to get rid of that blank space, and then again so that the writing is the right way. And then what I would probably do is glue that down, because I know that definitely I want that to stay there, I don't want that to move. So we'll just glue that piece down. I know this writing here is upside down, but that doesn't bother me. I may cover it later, or I may just leave it as it is, I'm not too sure. Again, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put washi tape from here to here, so I'm going to do that at a later stage. But I don't actually want this piece here to be a pocket, so I'm going to glue that shut basically. So I'll just do that now. There we go, so that's now glued shut, so we just literally have that one pocket there, and I'm going to attach some tape either side to adhere it down and put it in its final place, and I'll also ink it. So shall I go away and make some more? If I do end up making any where I feel like you need to see how I made them, I will obviously come back and show you that, but until then I will just show you what I've made at the end of this video. Okay, so I am back and I have made a few little pockets. So that one you see me make, these 2 you've seen me make as well, so I just made those. I don't want to do too many because I don't want the book to be too full of pockets and tags and things. And then I just made this one. It's literally just a folded piece of paper. I can't even open it. And then that's a pocket inside. I may well decorate the outside of the pocket, but obviously once it has something inside it will look fine. Then I made this like tuxedo piece here. It's just literally just fold in. There's nothing complicated. You just do it as you want it, how you want it to look. That was the one that we made on camera. I need to finish that off. Then this one is just a little, so it's got this flappy bit here and this is a pocket there, and I couldn't decide whether I wanted to kind of tape or glue this piece down so that it's got a pocket there and then a pocket there. It does also have one here, but I don't know if I like the look of this kind of flap piece, and maybe I could just add a pocket on the inside of this. I'm not sure, I don't know. But to make this one is super simple. It's just the exact same as this one. So all we need to do, fold it in half lengthways. I'm just going to cut off that straggly ripped edge like so. Then open it back up and just do as we did with the other pocket. You just want to fold, but only do one side. So ignore up here, you only want to do this end. So we fold it in, then we fold this piece in halfway. That does obviously go all the way along, and we'll fold that there like so. Then we bring this corner up to match like so, and fold this piece to meet in the centre there like that. So actually I want it a little bit more, so we'll kind of bring it up a little bit more, because obviously this here is going to be a pocket, so you want to make sure that that is big enough. It doesn't matter if it overlaps like so. And then that piece there is that front flap pocket, and then you just have to sort this piece out. So on that one I did cut off this rather large blank area, just cut that off, and then just folded where this point is, just folded it back like so, and that made the back pocket like that. So all we now need to do is just glue along the bottom and along the side, but then we also need to glue on the inside here because we don't want a pocket on that edge. So if we glue the inside piece there, then along the bottom and along the top, side, sorry, not the top, not the top, then fold this back into place like so. And that is literally all you need to do. And then you have this pocket here. You can choose to have that as a pocket, or it can be, it can open it up like this. Is that not stuck down? Oh, I didn't put glue on it. Didn't put glue on that inside piece there. Okay. Just going to reinforce my fold lines because they're popping out all over the place. But yeah, that was literally it. So you've got the choice of having a little flappy bit, or you can glue it down and have this as a pocket also, and then you have this pocket at the back. So that was that, really. That was simple as. Now I also just wanted to prepare some actual book pages. So these three are super simple. I just left this border here and ripped all the way along, so I just left this piece here and ripped here, here and here, just so that I'm left with the text. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these as kind of additional pages within the book. So I will fold like so, and imagine that this is my journal here. I'm then going to either place some tape down here or some glue here and have it glued like so, so that it kind of flaps like that, and then it can be used for anything. You can layer it, or you could just use it like so, just to hide a bit of journaling behind there. But that's how I'll use sheets that I do this to. I don't know how many I'm going to do that to, so I just kept it to 3 at the moment. And then these ones, just grabbed my acrylic paint, nothing fancy, and I just pasted it all over the words, basically. Done both sides, made sure it looked a bit messy. I'm not sure if I want to rip the edges yet, so I thought I'll leave them kind of flat, and I just continued and done that one. And then for a couple of them, I just done a couple of little doodle designs around the outside of the, I made it like a frame, so it frames like the text of the page. But yeah, you could let your imagination go wild and do loads of little doodles all over it. But these again I'm going to use as additional pages that kind of fold out of the page. So yeah, and then they can also be used, because you've kind of toned down the text, you can also use these to back your tags, so that you still have somewhere to write, and the script below isn't too invasive, it doesn't get in the way too much. So that is pretty much it for today's video. That's as much as I'm going to do today. My next video will probably be showing you the digital download that I make to go along with this little series, and I will also just grab my cover. Then I'll move on to making my signature. That will be the next video, making my actual signature and sewing it together in bits and pieces like that. And I think I'm going to have a hidden spine or a floating spine, so I'll show that process too. And yeah, and then I may well go back to the other book that I ruined, because I thought it was a Jane Austen book and it's not. And I may just yeah, continue with that one and do the exact same, but maybe mix it up a little bit and change up some of the designs. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone, bye.